Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, we are talking about the AMC comeback story, the end of short sellers, the new AMC ALGO, and many more in this video. First, we're taking a look at this. All of AMC's corporate bonds are all back to or near par value, a signal by the market, a masterclass by CEO Adam. I don't think people realize just how amazing this entire ordeal is. So this is what we're taking a look at. Now, we've talked about this in the past before, and essentially what this is a indication of what they are expecting for AMC, of what people are expecting the future of AMC to be. Now, Frank here made a very good explanation for this, so I definitely recommend you guys take a look. Now, the simple breakdown is that AMC had a ton of debt after COVID, which nearly killed movie theaters, and investors were super worried that they go bankrupt. Now, those same investors are saying, hey, this company might actually survive. And the reason why this is cool is because Adam Aron basically did financial magic. He raised money when stock was crazy high. He cut costs drastically. He kept the company alive during the pandemic. He turned the potential bankruptcy into a comeback story. The big picture is like AMC went from we might not make it to we are going to be okay in about 2 years. So like we talked about, this is the whole point of why we always focus on the fundamentals of AMC. I've said multiple times, when AMC displays its earnings and is showing that it's doing extremely well, it's not going to trigger a squeeze instantly just like that. What it does do is it indicates to us that AMC is in a very good position, that AMC will continue trapping the short sellers, and that will lead to a squeeze. And now, like we talked about, the very fact that the earnings is doing well right now, the bonds are obviously reflecting that, because the bonds allows us to understand what investors are thinking of AMC. We understand that AMC is doing well. And that's one of the biggest understanding that we need to have, is that AMC is seeing, again, like we talked about, Adam Aron has said for the next 2 years, we have 0% of a bankruptcy. But I think even further than that is that going on for the next 5 to 10 years, we're seeing a very, and again, because nothing is off the table, I personally want to say there's a 0% chance, but for the sake of it, we are saying that there is a very low percentage of any bankruptcy risk for AMC. And that's the ultimate goal, to not allow these short sellers to win, to continuously trapping these short sellers. And that's what we are seeing right now. And you can see another thing is why patience is important, because penalties for naked short sellers could soon increase from millions of dollars in fines to billions, potentially accompanied by prison time. With Gary Gensler's departure from the SEC anticipated, a new SEC chairman appointed by the incoming Trump administration may collaborate closely with the new Trump appointed Department of Justice to address these issues. This shift will spell the end for naked short sellers. So like we talked about, there's obviously going to be a lot of things that will be moved around. Now, something that we could be seeing is the understanding that Gary Gensler is obviously departing from SEC, and we get a new chairman who will obviously be more keen towards attacking and actually regulating these short sellers. So a possibility is that we could be seeing the fines to go to billions. Now, that is a huge part for us, and the reason why I say this is because you can see plenty of times how firms have exploited, whether it's illegal practices, whether it's using pump and dump or whatever it is, and have profited billions of dollars, but only have to pay 1 million or even less than that sometimes. And again, it is not a fine, but rather a cost of business. They're paying 100th, even 1,000th of what they've actually made. Now, that's why they're continuously going to be, doing this, and that's why they have. But if we were to see the fines go from, like we talked about here, from millions to, of course, billions, then that will definitely have an effect. And if these firms were to be fined billions of dollars, you can see how easily their capital can be depleted, and the fact that they will stop manipulating and exploiting, these illegal practices for the whole end, pretty much. Furthermore, we can see this. AMC Entertainment Holdings has made significant progress in reducing its corporate borrowings. So the AMC long-term debt is $4.048 billion for September 30th, 2024. And we can see that the debt reduction progress. Now, we've mentioned this plenty of times in the past before, so I don't want to bore you guys with it. But one of the reasons why I talked about this was obviously talking about here at the start as well, of talking about the corporate bonds. But you can obviously understand why this is important. And that's why I quickly want to go over it. Now, let's take a look at something, and I think this is very important right now, and this is showing another indication, another way that these shorts are obviously suppressing the price of AMC. Look at this. No longer AMC to the 4th decimal point, but now to the 6th. They are in a whole lot of trouble. What you can see for the investments for AMC, now that AMC are in the 6th decimal point, where we can look at that 4.749641. Very, very precise. Whereas obviously if you take a look at GME 27.39 or even Highcroft at 2.51, again, both in the single digits, one's $4, one's $2, but this is only in the 2 decimal points, whereas AMC is in the 6 decimal points. You can obviously see something that's happening here. Now, DJT, another recent stock to be attacked by short sellers at 4 decimal point, 29.0299. So you can obviously see, what is happening right now. Now, we have talked about recently multiple reasons for why shorts are scared. Firstly, again, this reflects back to what we talked about at the start of understanding that, AMC is doing well fundamentally. So they're still trapping these short sellers. But secondly, it's understanding institutions are buying into AMC. AMC is reflecting how it will perform in the future. So it's obviously one thing of trapping the short sellers and being able to stay alive. But another thing is AMC showing that it's going to be attracting more investors in the future. And that will obviously increase the buy volume, that will increase the buy pressure, which will obviously apply more pressure to the shorts. And that's what these institutions realize. They understand the potential there is for AMC right now. They understand that more and more people are starting to see what the true potential is for AMC. And they also realize that some people have not only noticed, what is in the long-term potential, but they've also realized that even as of right now, AMC is undervalued. AMC is not reflecting its true value. So that people are buying right now because they understand that even in short term, they are able to make good profit once AMC shows its true value. And so institutions are obviously seeing this, they're worried, and they're trying their best to suppress. And that's where we are seeing from this. Another thing to indicate, why people are seeing the volatility: 2 absolutely massive AMC dark pool orders just placed in after hours for a combined 1.5 million shares worth $8 million. The basket is about to blow, where we're obviously taking a look over here. Now, what we have seen recently is plenty of dark pool orders for both AMC and GME. So this clearly is indicating something. Recently we've seen a large amount of orders being placed to buy shares of GME. We've seen it for AMC as well. We've also seen the option volatility to also increase as well, the option volume. A lot of people are buying calls for both AMC and GME. We've suspected that for GME, it could be the case of Roaring Kitty obviously using his Chewy capital for this, and we're seeing for AMC is that people understand that we are expecting a move, therefore they're buying calls. All of these are pretty much indicating that people are seeing the breakout. People are starting to see, something is about to come, and we're seeing this reflecting in all the orders that are coming through. Now, you can also see here, AMC hit 487 today before the corrupt hedge funds and banking institutions went into short selling overdrive all afternoon to suppress the price before Friday and to keep AMC stock from closing in on 566. Now, like we talked about, this is something that we have known for a long time because they're obviously trying to keep it below max pain. We talked about how that affects the short sellers, and that's why we always see this happening. And this reflects what we talked about here with the 6 decimal points for AMC. Now, another thing that I think is quite big is understanding the net charge-offs at FDIC insured banks have ballooned 303% in just under 3 years. So what we can see, and the TLDR, is that banks continues to lose exponential amounts of money due to bad debt, which is ultimately written off in financial statement. For some added context, the last time FDIC insured bank had net charge-off exceeding 20 billion in a quarter was on the tail end of the global financial crisis, 22.2 billion in Q3 of 2012. So I'm not saying that this is a obvious proof that something is going to happen. What I am saying is that in the past, with the historical data that we have, it's clearly shown how this is obviously a bad thing. It's shown how typically coming off the end of this, we are supposed to see something that's bad, whether it's a market crash, whether it's a market recession, and that's what we are seeing. Now, one of the biggest thing is obviously bad debt. Now, we're not surprised with bad debt, considering and understanding the fact that they are always loaning out to institutions who have over leveraged their positions in these short positions that they have took, whether it's AMC, whether it's GME. We've talked about how they have trillions of derivatives that they have took positions in. So it's not a surprise that they do have this bad debt problem, and it won't be a surprise when this bad debt problem becomes too big for themselves to handle and it blows up in their face. And you guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.